Hi, how are you doing? Jimmy here. It's getting nippy now, isn't it? For all you people who haven't seen me before, I'm in the process of converting my Citroen Relay panel van into a stealth camper van. And a lot of my videos are about that. But unfortunately not this one. I've made myself a promise that I won't do any more on the camper van until my workshop is tidied up, because it's a pigsty. So if you're only about camper vans, this might not be the video for you. The reason I'm saying this video might not be for you isn't that I don't want you to watch. I would love you to watch. I hope you do keep watching. It's that I don't want you to tune in expecting to see a video about a camper van and be disappointed and not watch me anymore. So it's just a warning, but I hope you do stay and watch. Now I have made a start. It was, believe it or not, it was worse than this, and I've uncovered something. Now I hadn't totally forgotten about this, but it was sort of a case of out of sight, out of mind. And this used to be my pride and joy. So I haven't seen it for, I don't know, probably 2 years. So I'm just going to get it out and see what condition it's in and see if it'll start. Right, let the dog see the rabbit. We'll get some of this rubbish off. I'm being careful not to pull the camera over because I've got the mic lead in. So we'll just take some of these off. There she is, isn't she gorgeous? My little baby. Right, I think I'll move her in the middle so we can get around her. I hope the brakes aren't seized. I bet there will be. Well, I knew I'd do it. I've just pulled the camera over, but luckily enough nothing's broken. We'll get on with this. Yeah, as you can see, it's a Bmw 1200Rt. Same sort of bike as the police use, for those that are interested. And that warmed me up a bit because the back brake is alright, but the front brake is sticking. So that's a video for another day. So we better check this over first. I've got the battery off actually. So first thing I think I'll do is put the battery back on, which means I've got to take the seat off. So I'll just get on with that. As I say, it's quite a while since I took this off the road and took the battery out, but I believe there it is. There's a little release for the back part of the seat. You do that with the key, the ignition key, and the back part lifts off. But because this has heated rear seats, well, heated seats, not rear seats, heated seats, there's wires. And let me see. Take that off. And then the front part of the seat just lifts out, I think. Yeah, there you go. Oh, no wire on it again. No. And then the battery fits into here. Can't see, I'm gonna have to unclip this. Sorry, I had to turn the camera off because I'd cable tied the camera stand to the support because of me pulling it over just before. So I've had to cut the cable ties off, but the battery fits into here. Come on, where you going? There you go. So this is the bracket and the cables are here. So I'll do that. Okay, I've got the seat off and the wires are out of the way and the two battery leads are down here. One has got red tape on and one has got black tape on. It's very important to get the polarity of the battery right, because especially these days there's electronics involved and you can damage things on your bike. So when you get your battery is always marked on the top with a little cross and a little minus. Obviously the minus is negative, well it might not be obvious. Negative is minus, which is black. Positive cross is positive, which is red. So that will give you an indication, because I can't remember taking this battery out, which way the battery goes as well. So the positive has to be that way, so the battery must go that way. And slide the battery in. And this little bracket should go on next, which is a bit tricky. I won't film it because it make the film too long. I'll put this on, I'll come back. Okay, the bracket's on and I've connected the first lead just to save time, to not drag out the video. On this particular bike, you should always connect the leads with the ignition key out. I'll explain why shortly. And also connect the positive lead first. The reason for that is, if you've got your spanner and you're tightening the positive and you've connected the earth, you will then short the battery out. If you connect the live first, you could touch the live and touch the body and it won't do anything because the earth isn't connected. Then when you're connecting the earth, you can connect that, it won't do anything. It would only spark if you touched the positive, and as you can see I've put the cover on so that you can't touch the positive with the spanner. So that's the best way to do it. I've cleaned the terminals and the battery posts prior to putting them on as well. And so I've just got to put this last earth lead onto the battery, and then that's the battery connected. But as I say, keep on this particular bike especially, keep the ignition key out of the bike. I might have said in previous videos that I am a qualified mechanic, and I am, but I'm not qualified electrician as well on cars, but not motorbikes. So I don't know very much on motorbikes, so bear that in mind. These are a bit tricky to put on, and I might actually turn the camera off and put it on, or else the film's going to be a couple hours long. I'll turn the camera off. Right, that's the battery connected. If you're going to do your own battery, obviously look for things that's going to rub. You don't want wires to rub, especially the live wire, the positive wire. And make sure, if it's on a motorbike, that nothing's going to catch when you put the seat back in. That's it. You should always fully charge your battery. This one's been on charge for 2 years, so do you think that's enough? Right, that's the battery done. I'm not sure whether to put the seat on or not. I will. I'll put the seat on and come back to you. Okay, battery is all connected, seat's back on. There is something you have to do before you attempt to start the bike. On this specific bike, I don't know about other bikes. This bike has got a lot of electronics on it, and it has got an electronic throttle positioning valve, which tells the ECU the position of the throttle, so it can fuel and do the engine settings accordingly. Now this might sound like I know what I'm talking about. I really don't. This is just what I've read. And I'm not a mechanic on bikes, as I've previously said. So that's why I said don't connect the battery with this in, just in case it's interrupted something on that procedure. The procedure is very simple. All you have to do is to turn the ignition on and fully open and fully close the throttle a few times. It doesn't say how many times, a few times. So I'll do half a dozen, and that is telling the ECU the range of the throttle, I think. As I say, I'm no expert, just what I've read. So I think that should be it, and that should be the throttle sensing positioning sensor reprogrammed, because when you disconnect the battery it loses all the memory. So as I say, you might not know what I'm talking about, and I'm right there with you, I don't either, but that's what they say you have to do. So that's that done now. I'm just going to check a few levels and a couple of things, and then we'll try and start it. Right, we're nearly ready to see if it starts. Just going to check a couple of things, and then we'll try it and see if it starts. Firstly, fuel. If your bike's been off the road for a while, obviously it needs fuel. Check the fuel. I do it by the filler. Take the filler off, shake the bike, listen and look. This bike does have a fuel gauge, but I prefer to do it that way. Then you know it's got fuel in. This bike is an air-cooled engine, so it doesn't have a radiator, doesn't have any water to cool the engine. It relies on fins on the side of the engine to cool in the air, so there's no water. What it does have is engine oil though. You must check the engine oil. It's something you should be checking on a regular basis anyway, but definitely after you haven't started for a while. And on this one, this might be tricky. I might have to reposition the camera. I'll come back to you and reposition the camera. Right, this is a bit tricky, but I hope you can see it. Just under the engine, if you look into here, there is a window in the side of the engine. I'm trying to get the torch and camera on this there. Can you? Very hard to make out, but there is a round window, and you can see on that, I hope, that the oil is halfway up the window. So that's got oil in it. Your bike might not be exactly the same, but on a BMW, that's how you check the oil. Just a little note about checking the oil. It should be done when the engine is warm, but for obvious reasons we can't do that. We're just making sure that it has some oil in. We're not saying it's up to the level or anything. It's got enough oil in to start it. To do it properly, you need to run the engine till it's warm and check it again. Also, it should be on a level ground, and it should be on the center stand. Again, I'm talking about my bike here, not necessarily your bike. That's what you have to do on my bike. It should be on level ground, on the center stand, engine warm. Right, I've put off enough. It's time to try it. I'm a bit worried actually. A bit, not worried, but nervous. So we'll try it. Right. Okay, here we go. Wow. Well, that was a relief. I'm a bit happier now. I've just found the pannier the panniers for it. That's what it normally looks like. It's a touring bike, and normally has panniers on it, so that's what it looks like. Right, that's about it for this video. Been a good day, I think. I'm sorry to everybody who maybe is tuning in to see a video about CAMPERVAN. I should be onto the CAMPERVAN very soon. I just have to get the workshop in a bit better state. It's taken me so long, as I hate tidying up, but it's something that's got to be done, and next week I will, nose to the grindstone, I will get up and try and get the workshop tidied up and get back to the campervan conversion, I should say. So that's it for now. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, think of subscribing, and I hope to see you very soon. So take care, and thank you for watching.